Hey, what's up guys? Here we are. We're going to do another video. And today it's going to be home defense and home defense gun. And as you can see, we have my Glock 30 and my Maverick 88 12 gauge with 11 double-aught buck on the gun. 5 in the magazine, nothing in the chamber, 6 on the side. Alright, back it out. There we are. Yes, these are on my floor. Got the sunset actually coming through the window now with the light on, so I'll zoom in so you can see more detail as I talk about them. Alright, first we will talk about home defense as a whole, and then we will get to the home defense gun. I was watching some videos today and got to thinking about, other than the gun, what's a good plan to have, what's good action to do. And first off, have a plan. Know where everyone in your household is, your kids, your wife, your parents, etc. Know where they are and get them to a room, which hopefully you talked about prior to this happening. Whether it's the attic, or it's the basement, or like the movie Panic Room, something like that. Pick a room that's designated for home defense. Whether it's just your main bedroom that have your guns in it, get everyone into that particular room. Here is a tricky thing that I'm going to try to explain, but another YouTuber explained it very well. If I remember, I'll put it in the link and I'll put that video in. But it's know your blind spots on your whole property. That means places you can hide where they can't see, and vice versa. Places where they can hide while trying to enter where you won't be able to see them. So know those type of spots. Yeah, just know spots where they can hide if you're going through the house looking. Look in those particular spots instead of looking in an empty room, like a. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about, but there's going to be parts of the house like corners or around a wall, which will, you won't be able to see if you're coming down the stairs or from the hallway of your bedroom. So blind spots, just know them, even on the outside, not just talking about inside, like around your vehicle, fences, garages, barns, sheds, all that, because there might not be just one person coming into your home. From the same person, which I will link, because I don't know how to pronounce his name. I want to say it's Such00. I watched a couple of his videos. He's pretty knowledgeable. But call 911 before doing anything. Keep them on the phone in case it ever leads to a court battle. You'll have evidence that you notified them before taking action. Which I never would have thought of if I hadn't seen him talk about it. And it's a very good idea. Especially if it does resort to shooting. And while you may have a gun, let's just say you have these two for home defense, and you take that the Glock 30, make sure you leave this one behind, so in case something happens to you and they injure you or they kill you, not that you actually want to think about it, but it's a good idea to have that in case they make their way up, so they can defend themselves against the same attacker or attackers. So overall, just have a plan in case something does happen, and it should work out great. and I'm gonna check out the Such 00. He made a video of the intruder defense kit, which seemed pretty cool. I'll have to look more into that. But anyways, have a plan, know where you're gonna be, and defend yourself the best you can. Now on to the home defense gun. This is perfect. Fuck. This is personal preference. Because there's rifles, there's shotguns, there's pistols / revolvers. And depending on what you know how to shoot, what you're good at shooting, what's perfect for the layout of your house. You don't want to be swinging around a long shotgun if you have a lot of tight curves and short hallways, because that's just not practical. You definitely want to go with a handgun for that scenario. Once you decide that, say you want to go with the shotgun. Okay. You have close neighbors, but they're not, 20 feet out to your doorstep. Pick the caliber. If it's going to be a shotgun, in that scenario I would pick a 20 gauge. Low recoil, good follow-up shots, won't penetrate to the neighbor's house. Works all the way around. Ammo capacity. Like I have here, I have 11 rounds on the gun. Could be 12 if I kept one in the chamber. But for home defense, 11 is a lot. So check ammo capacity. Like say you have the 30. I have less rounds in the Glock 30 than I do that. Well, I have to reload on this one. I will definitely have more time if I already shot out the 5 in there. I definitely have more time to reload. But again, this is all personal preference. Pick what you want, pick what's good for you. And definitely, now that we're on ammo capacity, I wouldn't, it's hard to say, because you do want as much ammo as possible, but if you're shooting 17 rounds at one person, that's quite a bit of an overkill, unless they are really drugged up and they will not stop. But ammo capacity, if you're in a handgun, if you're using a handgun, I'd say at least 10. Heavy caliber rifle, like a 5.56, I would definitely say 5 would be good. But I would still take 10, because that's what most magazines are, 10 rounds. So at least 10 rounds for handgun and rifle. But with shotgun, I'd be happy with 5. I just put the side saddle on for a little extra. Helps with the weight and the recoil, and it's also 6 extra rounds. So that more than doubles what's already in there. And like I talked about before, size of your apartment or house. Like if you had an apartment, I would go with a handgun or youth size shotgun. Like a 20 gauge would be good because penetration, as I talked about earlier. And I really wouldn't want a 12 gauge in an apartment, just because of the penetration that it can cause. It could probably go through a couple apartments before stopping. And also, one thing to look at is, like I've been saying with the apartment area, location and penetration of walls. Like most people will probably be in an apartment realistically because of the lower income areas. But say you're in a house and you have neighbors 20 feet out your door. Again, you would want something small, handgun or 20 gauge, something that won't blast through everything, because 12 gauges with the right load will go quite a distance, especially if you decide to use slugs. And another thing, probably the last thing, I'd like to talk about is the clothing. Depending on your area, like I'm in New York, so wintertime, there's going to be heavy clothes. You want a caliber or a gauge, depending on if you pick rifle, handgun, or shotgun. You will definitely want, excuse me, you'll definitely want to take into consideration about clothing, winter clothing, heavy jackets. Yeah, because they'll have more than one layer, especially in the wintertime. They'll have 2-3 layers on, and you want to make sure you have a caliber good enough for that. Like for home defense, you know, like a 380 ACP would probably be the worst choice to pick from. But if you use a .22 rifle, you'd probably have a better chance than a 380 ACP in a handgun. That's up for debate. You can agree, you can disagree. That's fine. But I'd rather have a .22 in a rifle than a 380 ACP in a handgun. And there are quite a few .22 long rifles that are compact, like the 10-22. I have the compact version, so that would be easy to swing, even in an apartment setting. However, .22 is not the best defense gun, and obviously if you're at home you should have all your guns, but if you only have a .22 rifle would be much better than a .22 handgun. And that's pretty much it. You were looking at my personal home defense guns. Let's take a close look at this bad boy. Glock 30, 40 ACP. It does not have one in the chamber. However, come on. None in the chamber. But they do have the Hornady Zombie 185 grain hollow points in them. And we have the Federal double-aught buck. And I have 11 of them. But that's just my choice. And if you want to debate about the stock versus pistol grip, that's fine. I chose that just because I have a very, very long Sega 12 shotgun, and to balance my 12 gauges out, I needed it as short as possible. And that's perfect for me. And that's about it. Home defense, get a plan, get the right gun for you that you know how to do, or know how to shoot well, you know well, and if it malfunctions, you definitely want to know how to clear the jam quickly and get back on target. So guys, if you have any questions, any comments, concerns, you can comment, you can message me, video response me, whatever you got to do. I want you to know, thank you for watching, and that's about it. Yep.